Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners with Jim Misiura. Today we're going to tie a Japanese beetle. Here I have one tied up, and this is what we're aiming for. We have just two materials on this, and we have red deer hair. This is deer tail. You can use body hair if you have it. And the other is peacock herl, 4 strands of peacock herl. The hook that I have in the vise is a Hemingway's dry fly hook, size 14. This has a micro barb, and the thread I'm going to use Vivis 12-aught thread. I wouldn't recommend using anything bigger than an 8-aught. We're going to attach that thread behind the barb, and we're going to bring it back to where that micro barb is. Keep this tag end at a 45-degree angle and you'll get nice tight wraps without trying a whole lot. And then if you do happen to get an opening, just kind of go like that and it'll push it right in place. I'm going to remove that excess. We're going to start out with our deer hair, and I have it in a hair stacker. You can see that this is the tail, and it doesn't really, you don't really have to put it in the hair stacker. I just put it in for storing it for this video. But you can see the hair. This is very fine hair. And on this end, you have very coarse hair. And we want to use that stuff that's about in the middle. It's coarse, and yet it's fine enough to be able to tie for a small fly like this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut off those tips. And we're going to start out by tying this in, and we're going to leave it. We're going to leave it about an eye length from the eye of the hook, the tag end. And I'm not going to let go of this. I got one loop. I got it kind of tight. And then I'm going to kind of give it some open wraps going up to the front. And you can make them tight. And then when you get to the front, then you can wrap back and you can make that tight. It was just falling off the edge there. And then I'm making it tight, you can see. And you can really get that tightened down there. Pull out any loose ones there. And that's going to be the shell. Oh, got a wild one up there up front. Whoop, and it's gone. Now, we're going to take our peacock herl, and I pulled these off a long peacock feather because they're the butt ends. When you pull them off a feather, instead of using your store-bought, these here, instead of trying to dig for some nice stiff ones, you're guaranteed to get stiff ones off a regular feather. So I'm going to go ahead and trim away that little bit of stem that came off with it. Remember, I have 4 here. And I'm going to tie these on, and I'm going to leave them, a little longer there. I'm going to tie these in. And these are going to be the legs, so I'm going to take 2 of them. I'm going to tie them back and to the sides. Then we got our back legs, and then I'm going to go forward. Sometimes you have to actually hold them. Keep them separated. And then when you get to where you want those front legs, you could go ahead and tie them off to the side. And bring that thread up to, keep that thread about an eye length from the eye of the hook. Okay, so we have our legs. There's our legs. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to take our peacock herl and we're going to wrap that. And if you find yourself wrapping a leg, just go ahead and, maneuver that. Maybe you need to put a wrap in back of the leg or in front of the leg to help it get to the right place. I come up to the legs, I like the position that they are. Yep, get an extra wrap in back of that one and then in front of the farther one. There's not really no particular, you don't have to do it exactly, in the number of wraps and things like that. It's all about teaching you how to get the basics down. We're going to go ahead and trim that excess. Trim it pretty close, because we're pretty close to that eye there. Okay, so we're more than halfway done here. Now we're just going to take our deer hair and we're going to fold that over. Want to keep that back leg in that back position. I'm holding it pretty tight. Let me try again. Some of them got away on me. Hold that leg in the back position. And then we're going to wrap this. Get a couple of wraps on there. And now I'm going to tighten that up. Take those legs, pull them in position. Now I can tighten that up. Put a few wraps in front. And those wraps are going pretty tight to the thread. Now we're going to trim away the excess. I like to leave that little bit of a caddis type head on there. Helps a little bit more with flotation and things like that. Maybe helps you a little bit with the sight. Now I'm going to go ahead and tie off the head. I'm going to use my bodkin or my half hitch tool. Go around twice. Put that right on the eye of the hook. Slide it off, and it's right underneath that deer hair head. Give that about 3 wraps and that'll be nice and tight. Once, twice. I like to roll the bodkin needle or the half hitch tools. I'm going up. Pull that tight. Take our poke and snip. Get that cut off there nice and close. Here we have the legs. Nice. Now all we have to do is just trim them to size. And this all depends on you. You don't want to leave them real long, but you want them to be able to see some kind of a leg there. Try to grab them and cut both of them at the same time. At least you'll get them even. Now we can take our head cement. You could actually put UV cure on top if you want, but I wouldn't do that. I mean, that's just too much work. Put our head cement on our thread. Careful not to get it in the eye. You could put a little coating of head cement on the wing or the shell if you would like. That'll stiffen it up, kind of help the protect it a little bit from the teeth of the fish. And here we have a Japanese beetle. Very simple. It's a very good pattern in the summertime. You can turn that into a regular beetle by using a black deer hair for the shell. You get that nice color underneath that those Japanese beetles are. So I hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please visit my sponsors, leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.